shorty from Barbados. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Well, I can't fight Halo. Last time I seen a shorty like you, my crib had cable. I don't remember the last time that my crib had cable. Take my hand, I'll say, hey, shorty from Barbados. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Well, I can't fight.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Tyrone Rose Show. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting over the past couple of weeks. It's been a lot of fun. I just came back from hanging out with my guys, Medrano, aka Pierre Petit on YouTube, and Matt, and we just had a blast. Like, I didn't realize Matt hadn't seen Medrano in 7 years, and it was just like everything clicked, as if like they've been talking for weeks, days, months, and it was a special moment. It really was, because like, you know, in that room we were just laughing, comedy, having a great time, coming up with jokes, just making fun of each other. Like, I can honestly say I haven't laughed that long and that loud in quite some time. It was really, really a great time, and I had just a blast with those guys, and I'm looking forward to getting Medrano on stream with us on the Thursday show. If you're listening, I am live for the first time ever on my own here using Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. You watch the video, go over to YouTube. It'll be available now. But happy Monday. It is Monday, November 22nd, episode 20. That's another thing. I can't believe we are on episode 20. Like, where has the time gone? I remember this was just an idea, something I put on Instagram. And man, time flies. But, you know, sitting down with Medrano, we went to high school together. Matt met him in high school too. But just sitting down with those guys really reminded me that, you know, you really do need to, and I spoke about this last week, just prioritize who you care about, who your friends, and just have that conversation with yourself and start categorizing. This weekend was my birthday, which was good. I got to see the family, and it's funny, I put out this Instagram story where I said something along the lines of like, you know, it's nice to know who really matters and who doesn't. And a lot of people took that as, you know, more the negative side of that. It was like, oh, wow, people don't say happy birthday to you. I guess those people don't matter. But that's not really what I don't even really care too much about my birthday. We think we mentioned it maybe once last week on the stream. But it was more to say that it's interesting, like when people do reach out, because they don't have to, you get to kind of decide, pick and choose who you want to respond to, who you care about, who you want to have a deeper dive with. And also then there's just a different level. It's like, yeah, you appreciate someone saying happy birthday to you, but there's also this level of, okay, who do I want to see in person? And my brother's Andres in Thailand. They have a YouTube channel, NWC. You can go check that out too. They came up just randomly on a whim, like, hey, we're going to come stop by and see you. And I don't think I've seen those two together and we just in a while, and we just like hung out and had fun. They had never used the Oculus Quest. And so it was funny. They got in and they were using the thing, and they just didn't realize how cool it was and how realistic you can make it be. And we just we just did some crazy stuff in there, and it was fun to see them experience something for the first time, which is nice, you know. And it made me realize too that, hey, what's up, Matt? Sorry again, like I said, I am live, but it was fun to see that, you know, the fruits of my labor by working and being able to have this Oculus Quest thing that they've never done. I was able to share that with them and give them this whole other type of experience. And that was just those little moments in life that you're just like, damn, those are moments they're going to remember. But you're like, us just sitting there, cracking up, having fun, being ridiculous, joking around, cracking jokes. And it all came full circle today, hanging out with Matt and Medrano. And I've been thinking about this quote. I don't know if it's someone else who said it or whatever, but it's really like you can't. Well, it had more to do with like people reminiscing on the past and thinking about the future and all that. And someone said you can't have a past without being present, because what makes those moments so special in the past is that you were so present for them there in that moment. And I was sitting there with Medrano and Matt, and we were just exchanging stories about when we were kids and growing up and all this stuff. And it was funny because just sitting there, I was thinking, I'm like, I don't remember some of these things, but like you can remember the feeling of these moments. And it's weird because in that moment, that was the biggest moment, and you were cracking up, you were in love, you were sad, all this like rush of emotion. But as you get on and grow older, these moments that felt so large and big, they just fade. And I think this is something that we associate with when you're, elementary school, middle school, whatever. But what you realize is that no, this is the rest of your life. One of my friends had said, "Oh, I look back at my old texts that I used to message when I was in college or high school, and I'm like, oh my god, I look so dumb." And I was like, honestly, in 2 years, when you look back at the text that you send me now, you probably think, boy, I was so naive. Because in the moment, we do think we've got it all figured out, we know everything, we've learned from our experiences. But the truth of the matter is, you can always keep learning. You can always have a better moment than yesterday. And that's really what keeps you just treading ahead. But sitting down with Medrano and Matt, there was just so many great memories and moments that I had forgotten about. And we were just sitting there laughing and having a blast. And I typically don't think, you necessarily need to be friends with someone from high school, or if you were best friends when you were in middle school, that you have to hold on to that relationship forever, because you change. People go their own ways, and you start to develop your own adult ideas and thoughts. So it really doesn't make sense that you will stay friends with people forever. But there are some people in your life that no matter if you guys talk in 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, when you're back in the same room with them, the energy is just boom, boom. Like I hadn't seen Medrano in 2 years. And then before that, it was 2 more years, back when I was in England. And when I saw him back when I was in England the first time, it was like a kid in the candy store for both of us. We were just like, oh my God, like, this is my boy. Like, I haven't seen you in so long. And it happened again in 2 years after. And at the moment, I didn't have a girlfriend. I wasn't dating Carly. We weren't together. And then 2 years later, I came back to England. And again, I was a little bit more mature. I had this serious girlfriend. And again, the jokes, the laughs, like his charisma and everything with Carly, the chemistry, the vibes were all there. But there are some people I know for a fact that if I brought my girlfriend around them and I hadn't seen in years, but they think that we're a lot closer, it just wouldn't click. It just wouldn't. There'd be this awkwardness, this tension. And you don't want your partner to be this major factor on, do you like these people? How do you get along, etc. But if you think about it, your partner or the person you're with really has a good radar of your vibes and everything and chemistry. And going back to categorizing friends, I might have my friends I only talk about Star Wars with, right? And Carly doesn't care about Star Wars, but there's still this level of chemistry there that I've noticed with the people that I'm really, really close with, where I feel like if I was not in the room, she would still be able to vibe with them. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but that's just something I've noticed. And with Medrano, it was kind of the same thing, where I felt like They could laugh, make jokes, carry a conversation, no problem. But putting me, Matt, and Medrano in the same room, Matt hadn't seen this dude in 7 or 8 years. I was just like back and forth. Now he's got this bigger follower. It's like 30,000 people. And part of me was like, okay, is Medrano going to go a little Hollywood here? Is he a little bit different? And not at all. The guy is the exact same person. It was so funny. It was a blast. Matt and I were just busting his balls and chops. At one point, Matt, was just comedic gold. Like, so we were just joking on each other like all night, going back and forth, cracking up. And Medrano goes, "Oh my god!" Like he's literally in tears, like crying. He's wiping himself. You know those good laughs. And Medrano just goes, "Oh my god, Matt! Oh boy, you got me. Oh, that was a good one." And Matt just goes, "All right, I'm glad I can make the YouTuber laugh." And I lost it. It was just so funny. It was such a good time. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and get in here a little bit to say, because I know Thanksgiving's coming up and a lot of people, they go back to school or their high school and they see these people they hadn't seen in years. And typically, I would say, you've grown up. You don't got to be around those people. You don't got to see them. But what I'll say is, if there are people where you have that like kind of connection with, where you feel like it doesn't matter if I've seen them in years, months, whatever, make that effort to reach out and try to see them, hang out, because the chemistry between Matt, Medrano, and I honestly was sitting there thinking, like, if we had 10 hours together, we could create some of the funniest content ever that I've made or Matt's made or he's made. Like, the vibes were just 100% there. Like Matt was saying, it was A1 vibes, man, just perfect. You couldn't believe it. It's like the way we just jumped right back into it was as if we had been talking every day. So, oh God, it was just such a fun time, and you need those every once in a while. So I had a really great weekend. It was the birthday, and we found this, for my birthday, we found this Chinese restaurant. It was a buffet. I've never seen this. I've never gone to a Chinese buffet before. Like, I love food, but believe it or not, that's just something I've never done. I've always gone to the little hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurants because those are just, they are always the best. Or I've done the takeout order delivery thing. But to go to a buffet and it just had all this food, Matt, he came late, but he ended up coming to my place where we watched the Celtics and Lakers. Oh, God, the Lakers suck. But he just had this huge plate of food, man, and it was just so bomb. It was in Worcester. And, yeah, I just had a great weekend. We got a Peloton, and now I'm working from home a lot. I was just like, man, I'm stuck inside, and I hate going to the gym physically. And I was like, all right, maybe if I get this Peloton, which is a bit pricey, I know, don't laugh at me. I'm the fucking suburban California white girl now. I got a Peloton. But I was like, all right, if I'm spending this money on this thing, maybe it'll make me want to work out more and actually do it. And I wake up, so I don't start work till like 8:39-ish, and I wake up at like 7 or 6:45 sometimes. So I just have like a few hours in the morning where I just do nothing. I'm scrolling, I'm watching TV. So I was like, you know what, let me get productive with those minutes, with those hours. And so I got this Peloton. It came right on my birthday Friday. And I tried it yesterday on Saturday or the day before. And the classes just, as stupid and cliche as it seemed, but like seeing someone in the class being like, yeah, man, let's go. Like the playlist rocking, it gets you going. It does. I don't know so much about communicating with other people, but I believe if you have a friend or someone else who has it, you guys can take classes together and see each other's face and things like that. But it got me going, and like honestly, after, I felt super healthy, I felt super good, I had all this energy, And so I'm going to try to make that's my big 2022 goal, is to get healthy. So I'm starting it early, because why not? Why wait till January 1? So that's my goal. I don't know. What are you guys' goals out there? I would recommend seriously that you start thinking about that now. So when December comes, you're not trying to like rush to the gym with everyone else. You're like, I want to make content every day. Like, if your goal, or you think your goal for 2022 is going to be, I want to make content every day, I want to lose weight, I want to get married, take the baby steps now, so when you get there, it'll be no problem. Like, I was talking to Matt about creating some more content, and because he always has really great ideas when it comes to these things, but the execution is kind of like, I don't know, there. Because like I said, everyone gets busy and you have all these things going on. But I recommended to him, I was like, just make a video. You don't need to worry about the views. You don't need to worry about, do I need to do this consistent? Just make a video, see how you feel, have fun with it. And talking to Medrano, who makes a lot of content obviously on YouTube, he's not on TikTok yet. I'm like, you got to get on there. Like, it doesn't matter what your lane is, you have to get on TikTok. Because it's like I said last time, if you like cooking, you could showcase that to the world. If you like just talking, showcase that to the world. ASMR. If you like to make jokes, if you're into fashion, modeling, they have a lane for everyone. And what's even cooler is, we're from the YouTube generation where we think everything has to be original, the first, whatever. On TikTok, they don't care about that. They want variations of the same thing. You put your own spin on it. And what's cool is, like, for me, so there was this trend going around based on Interstellar. And in Interstellar, without ruining the plot, so spoiler if you don't want to hear this, in Interstellar, someone is able to see themselves in the past and they try to warn themselves, but it can't work. So there was this TikTok trend going around with that. And so I tapped into it by doing Omegle. Like, you guys remember Omegle? You would go on Omegle and all you would see is just dicks and just old men and gross stuff. And as a kid, you just go on Omegle, scroll, and all you see is this disgustingness. But you're so innocent, you don't even know. You're just like, oh, Omegle, everyone's going on Omegle. Let me type in an interest that I have, YouTube, and start talking. And honestly, I don't know if anyone else has had a different experience. Maybe if you're a girl, people actually had a conversation. But for me, I don't think I've ever actually had like a real conversation with people on Omegle. It's always been weird. I remember my buddy CJ and I and Josh, this other kid we used to hang with a lot. We were DJing, so we were DJing for people on Omegle and having them like give us requests. But after a while, like, it just became the same thing. Next. Old creepy guys. Oh, how old are you? ASL. Ugh, gross. But so I made this TikTok where it was like future me trying to tell my younger self not to go on to Omegle. And that's a great example of something where you could use that for anything. Like, let's say you were a model, right? You could use that trend and be like me in third grade with an eating disorder. And then you go back and look at yourself telling you like, eat. If you're into football, it's like you go back and telling yourself, you're like, see yourself skipping practice. You're telling yourself, go to practice. Like, you get the idea. It's like, that's what I love about TikTok. Because if you're like, I don't know what to make, all you have to do is scroll. If you scroll on TikTok, you will see something. And if it catches your eye, that means it would catch someone else's eye. So find a way to take those TikToks, twist them into whatever your niche, your idea is. I kind of don't even like the word niche. Like, it's just whatever your thing is, whatever you're interested in, do that. Put the content out there. And what I love about my conversation with Medrano is he kind of had the same philosophy that I do. And even though he has more success at this point, his philosophy was really very similar, which was interesting because it tells me as a creator, I'm like, just stick with it, man. It's all about timing and algorithms and saying the right thing. And one thing that we both were like, I say the same thing, is what I told you guys in episode 1, episode 5. I say it all the time. If you had 10 people in a room tell you, I like what you did, you would be like, I've had a great day. I can't believe everyone's so interested in what I do. So when you get those 10 likes, 10 views, 2 views, you have to realize the value in that. You're not going to have a cajillion followers. You're just not until you do, as stupid as that may sound. Until you have 1 million, you don't. So just enjoy what you have right in front of you. And you don't need that. Like, one thing Matt said that is 1,000% true is he was saying, you look at some of these big content creators like Mr. B, Shane Dawson, whoever, they have millions and millions and millions of followers, but their views are like 300,000, 1.2 million, 500,000. So it's like, it doesn't even really matter if you have all those followers. It's not like all those people are going to see your content anyways. I mean, literally this morning, Carly was scrolling on TikTok and she saw something I had made and she asked me about it. And honestly, I'm pushing so much content right now on TikTok where I'm trying to do it every day. Sometimes I do twice a day, that I didn't even know what she was talking about. And it was like a video I did like 8 or 9 days ago. And so for me, I'm like, okay, if my own girlfriend lives in the same house as me, same Wi-Fi, she sends me videos, so our feeds are probably kind of similar. Everyone's feed's different. To me, that tells you it's just all about timing and finding what you do, or finding what you do is something that you're actually passionate in, and you can't fake that, right? So my advice to the creators out there is just create, and everything else is just second nature, and it'll come to you. So last week, Yao, Matt, and I, we made our tiered list for Thanksgiving. And, we had some similarities, but I disagreed here and there. But Thanksgiving's coming up, so I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit, where we put stuff, where we think, what you think. It's interesting. I feel just looking at this list of Thanksgiving stuff that pretty much everyone has turkey for the most part. Everyone's got mashed potatoes. Everyone's got gravy. I'd say dinner rolls are pretty essential. I would say mac and cheese is pretty essential. Kind of crazy if you don't have that. You got the pies. And where we really differed was cranberry sauce. I don't like cranberry sauce, man. I don't really get it. Like this is something I go back and forth a lot with people. Is like the whole idea of sweet and salty together. Those are church and state. I don't want them anywhere near each other. And it might have to do with me being allergic to peanuts, because I feel like a lot of peanuts, they use like salty caramel, peanut, blah, blah, blah. I don't want it, man. The jellied cranberry, oh, God. Matt is going to roast me because he loves jelly cranberry, but for me, I'm like, I'm all good on that, bro. I'm all set. Like, jelly cranberry to me is just, it's one of those things where it's like, when you're poor and then you're no longer poor, you're like, I don't want to have no jelly cranberry, man. Like ramen noodles. Like, ramen noodles should only be eaten by college students. If you're a grown adult and you're eating ramen noodles, come on, guys. Come on. Go to a local restaurant, learn how to make it. But you can't be an adult eating a jelly cranberry and ramen noodles. I mean, grow up, guys. You guys like this because it's a comfort food, and that's fine. Whatever, everyone likes their own thing. but recognize that, right? Like, don't pretend and sit here and act like jelly cranberry is essential to your Thanksgiving dinner. It's not. Mac and cheese, mashed potato, gravy, turkey, essential. Ham, I would even say ham is probably, I usually get like a slice, but come on. And then there was the debate about the apple pie versus the pumpkin pie. To me, pumpkin pie it just hits differently. Like, it's just, I can eat it on its own. I don't even like dessert, and I'll be full, but I'm just like, oh, we gotta make room for this. Apple pie, it's one of those hit or miss for me. Like, I do like it, especially with ice cream. Apple pie is good, real good with ice cream. I don't do the whipped cream. I know pumpkin pie and whipped cream, I don't do that. But it's a lot, you know? And like, sometimes people make it where the apples, you feel like the apples aren't cooked long enough, or there's too much apple. Like, I kind of feel like Paul Hollywood from the Great British Baking Show. I'm like, man, the crust isn't right, or that layer is just too thick. I get real picky, and I think that's just a Thanksgiving thing, right? Like, everyone likes the way that their parents or whoever raised them, their guardian, made the food. So when you get someone else who's trying to do that job, you're like, I don't know about this. It's not right. And then, oh God, especially when you go to the in-laws. You go to the in-laws and they're just making all types of crazy shit like cream corn, sweet potato casseroles. I mean, it's just all over the place. It really is. But I want to know, what do you guys think about Thanksgiving versus Christmas? Like, what is more of a comfort food? Do you think Thanksgiving is or Christmas? For me, on Christmas, I don't want to get fancy with it. I want to have whatever we grew up with, make that, stuffing and, fried chicken and, all the works. Thanksgiving, I feel like I'm a little bit more comfortable to audible, where I'm like, it doesn't matter whose recipe is. I'm still gonna eat it because it's just the vibe. Like, Thanksgiving is just like stuff yourself, eat yourself. But I tell you what, when you have a Thanksgiving and the food is just slightly off, it really does make you crave that home-cooked Thanksgiving that you're used to from growing up. I've had a couple of Thanksgivings where I've gone over, not the in-laws per se. Well, one year we did have, there was like a weird cheesy thing going, and I was like, and the problem for me is it fucks up the whole Thanksgiving. Because once you are like grubbing, you love it, then you have that one bad dish, it just soils the whole rest of the meal. You're like, can't get the taste out your mouth. Back when I used to drink, oh God, I used to love red wine. Red wine is essential. Like, if I do choose to drink one day again, red wine is just, it's the best. There's nothing like it. Beer is so disgusting. It's overrated. Funny enough, actually, one time Matt came over and we had these, what are they? Non-alcoholic beers. I can't remember the name. And he was like, oh, gross. Why do you want to drink that? And I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's more to vibe and feel like you're drinking and stuff like that, even though you're not. He's like, yeah, but the flavor is disgusting. And I was like, that's so true. Like, I don't drink alcohol, but why would I want to go after a non-alcoholic drink? I want it to taste like beer, but not the buzz. It's just, no thank you. But, all right, I just wanted to come on here, say hello to everyone before Thanksgiving, and I want to make a couple of these podcasts just a little bit shorter going forward. That way I can put some more video into it and talk real concise and get my points out. But I know everyone's got a short week, or a lot of people do have a short week, so I just wanted to come on and say hello to everyone. And yeah, that's basically what I got for you guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and have a lovely weekend. Just be you. All right, everyone, peace.
Shorty from Barbados. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Well, I can't fight Halo. Last time I seen a shorty like you, my crib had cable. I don't remember the last time that my crib had cable. Take my hand, I say, hey, shorty from Barbados. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Well, I can't fight Halo. Last time I seen a shorty like you, my crib had cable. I don't remember the last time that my crib had cable. Take my hand, I say, I made